What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You got the almighty DJ CJ Flash back with a brand new live episode of I Remember That Song. Here to tell you all about it is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jerry Dove.
Somebody say my name. Was that you?
I did.
How you doing, bro?
I could have said the other way.
The myth, the man.
Nah, I could have said G. Dove.
Oh, that's a phone call. That's a phone call situation. That's a phone call situation. That's nothing that anybody needs to know. As he changes the subject. You in a good mood tonight, brother?
Absolutely good mood, brother.
I know you are, because we got the funk coming on tonight. You're good at the funk.
It's gonna get funky in here real quick.
And she spelled it funk, F-O-N-K.
That's right.
Like that, right. You know. Before we go anywhere, let's get two more of our funky friends up in here to talk about this with us. Say hello to Ryan Nicole.
Hey, Ryan.
You can't be funky. You can't be funky in that shirt. And D minor is checking the funk situation.
Funky.
Yeah.
The funk is upon us. I heard you just came from a workout, D minor, so I know you funky too.
Yeah. But is it with a U or is it with an O?
Well, I you have to ask him. I'm not in the studio with the
brother. It's with that O.
Okay.
Oh,
that oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh dear.
Oh my God. I see you got another one of my t-shirts on there, right, Nicole?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Probably your favorite one, right?
That's definitely my favorite one.
That's my original one right there.
It's got all the homies on it.
Definitely.
Tribute to the Army veterans that we have lost over the years. That was my first one that I did like that. One of my favorite ones. And you know what?
I love that one.
You know where you can get that?
Where
can you get it?
GWdesigns.com.
What?
Oh, snap.
GWdesigns.com. You get your summer t-shirts there with all the different types of music that you can go and enjoy. And there's shirts in there with more like that with the same shirt, right? Hoodies and everything like that. If you live in San Francisco, you still need a hoodie in San Francisco. So
yes, you do.
Got all kinds of things.
I'm in San Francisco.
You know,
it's hot today, though. I don't know if it's hot in the city, but it's hot over here. Actually, I'm being really hood. I'm drinking out of this right now because it's a pure leaf. Because it's so hot, I had to put this in the freezer. You know how when it's hot and you put it in the freezer and it gets the little ice crystals? So I had to calm myself down. So don't call me hood today. You just
said it was hood.
It is hood, but it's mine. Nobody else is drinking it.
We're not agreeing. Yeah,
it's hood body good.
There you go.
Hood body good. I love that. I love that. Russell's not with us tonight. He's doing some things. He'll be back soon. I think next week he'll probably be back. So we'll try to forge ahead without him tonight. I say this every week, and I say this every week, but this week we got a really good show tonight, man.
Oh yeah, we
got a really good show. This is going to be one of my favorites because I love this group. We had this lady on 3.5 years ago. That's how long we've been doing this, y'all. 3.5 years ago. Yes. Oh, look at you. There you go with the wrong one there.
That was I'm doing a time.
Well, you probably did you do it? Does that?
I guess I did.
Yeah.
The AI is doing the most.
Okay. Well, that's all right. All right. So thumbs up on this one. But yeah, she was.
What happens if you do this?
Boom.
Oh.
Nothing.
Boom.
Nothing.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. We'll find out throughout the night when I start dancing.
There you go. So we'll check it out. Tonight is Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific, which means it's time for IRTS Live. Tonight we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first album from Graham Central Station, one of the funkiest, with an O, groups of all time. They were led by the legendary bass man Larry Graham, Herschel Happiness Kennedy, who was on trumpet, Freddie Stone on guitar, and our guest tonight, the one and only Patrice Banks, better known to all of us as CLET, Chocolate. She's going to be with us, and we're going to be celebrating this one album tonight. We're going to have a different kind of show. It's dedicated to the first album of Graham Central Station, entitled Graham Central Station. We're going to go through every song. We're going to hear stories from Chocolate. We're going to add our little 2 cents in, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So make sure you come on with us. Let's bring in Chocolate, and then we're going to have Ryan Nicole do her thing. Everybody, put your hands together for CHOCLET. Chocolate. How you doing, lady?
I am wonderful. I am so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. This is a momentous occasion, and I couldn't think of anybody better to share it with than I remember that song, Tina.
Look at you. Look at you.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
You're making us all blush over here, you know?
Okay, good.
Well, we're going to have some fun tonight. So, Ryan Nicole, you want to do your thing to kick it off here?
I'll do this as quickly as I can so we can get back to the lovely Miss Chocolate.
Okay.
Put the camera on me. Hey, how you doing? I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. G-Dub.
There you go.
All right, y'all. What's happening? You are at IRTS Live. So glad that you are here with us this evening. You are quite possibly joining us via YouTube, via Facebook, via Twitter, or some other social media platform. More than likely, many of you are with us from soultv.watch. Yes, on Roku television. We are so glad that you are with soultvwatch.com. I always get it mixed up. You got to put that up for me all the time, Jerry.
I got
Anyhow, you are likely with us through one of those mediums, one of those mechanisms, and there's only a few things that we need you to do tonight. Like, subscribe, share, and then finally, put your name and location in the chat. As you know, this thing streams globally. We have a lovely global audience. And so let us know where you are on the map so we can shout you out and be communicative in the chat because we want to talk to you while we are talking with Miss Chocolate. I think that's it. Like, subscribe, share. Let us know who you are, where you are, and all that good stuff.
And be communicative.
Communicative.
COMU. That's about 6 syllables in that word.
Communicative. Yeah, there you go.
I like that. Now, Chocolate, you were with us, like we said, 3.5 years ago. We've come a long way. We're doing it. We're trying to get better every time we do it, but I think we kind of figured it out. So I'm happy you're back to get another go at this.
And all those different places people can watch and stream and everything. That's impressive.
Yeah, we got people all over the country, all over the world that are watching us. Let's start this out with somebody right here in San Jose. That's Michael Boudreau. San Jose jazz lovers love you. And he said he remembers you when you were pregnant. That's a random kind of a...
Me too, Michael. Me too. But thank you.
That's a random approach. San Jose jazz
pregnant with a capital P. I feel that. Yeah.
Oh,
because I was that kind of pregnant too.
Well,
thank you,
know
Michael.
What? Oh, he's talking to you. I'm sorry. Okay.
No.
You got something you want to share with us?
Yeah, let's talk about it, sis.
No.
We got somebody who must be related to Unique Banks from LA.
That's my daughter.
Miss Unique. Thank you,
Speaking of pregnant.
What's going on, Miss Unique?
Thank you, Unique, for getting Mama through that last step of getting on the show here. We always got to have the youngsters around. Nicole Scott is in Vallejo. Kim Batiste is down in Seaside, talking about Seaside, Monterey area, like that. Kevin Birch is in LA area.
Thank you,
Stephanie Jackson is SMJ by the Bay. She's the one that whenever we get stuck on a question, she's going to have the answer in the chat real quick. So you'll see. And there's more people to come, so we're going to have a good time tonight. So Chocolate.
Yes.
You're in Los Angeles now, right?
Right outside of Los Angeles in the high desert, Antelope Valley.
So we're complaining about 82-degree weather. You're just like us, like telling us, be quiet.
You guys need a jacket.
It is that. Okay. Well, okay. You're right. You told us. You're right.
You know what I'm saying, compared to the desert.
To the desert, yeah. I mean, why? I've always wanted to know, why do people, I'm sure you got a good deal on your house, I hope. But why would you move to the desert? Just curious.
Absolutely, just what you said. Okay. Because if you know anything about how high real estate is in Los Angeles, you know what I'm saying? So that's why.
All right. Okay. That's all we need to know. All right. So 50 years ago. Can you believe that?
No.
50 years
I
ago, you did your
cannot.
first album. Okay, so tell us, I don't generally like to do that origin kind of a story, but you got to tell us how you got started and because how you got connected to Graham Central Station. Tell us that.
Okay, I'll try to make it short. So, I was in this group called Doodletown Pipers, and we were playing in Vegas. And Dick Griffey was on the road with the Supremes, he was being their road manager. So they came to see us one night, and Dick saw me. It was something in me he saw, I guess. And so he approached me after the thing was over and told me that if I ever left the Doodletown Pipers, to be sure and give him a call. So I did leave, and I did call him. And so he became my manager. And at the time he was managing and promoting concerts. So he was promoting the concert in Los Angeles at the Forum. And Sly and the Family Stone was going to be on the concert. And, I was just saying, still am really a Sly and the Family Stone fanatic. So I begged him to put my little group on the show, and he did. We opened, and then he introduced me to everybody in Sly and the Family Stone, and I met Larry. And then the rest is history.
The rest is history, and we'll go through all of that. So it's the name that we got in there: Dick Griffey.
Dick Griffey.
Dick Griffey was huge. And you mentioned somebody else in there that's pretty huge that we need to talk about. So who was the other one, Ryan?
Sly.
Sly and the Family Stone.
Mhm.
And
And
then I
of
heard
course, Brother Larry.
Brother Larry. Okay. So let's talk about the group. So what was the group like? Tell me the name again.
The Doodletown Pipers.
Yeah, that don't sound too funky with that. That wasn't funky. How you get on the bill with Sly and the Family Stone?
That was my first professional gig, and they came to my high school. The managers came to my high school, and they auditioned people in the choir. And that's how I got the gig immediately out of high school. They hired me. And so it was an all-American type group. It was 16 people, 5 blacks. But in that group, I always have to say that my brothers that were in the group, one was Jim Gilstrap. I'm sure you know about Jim.
Oh, yeah.
And the other was Augie Johnson with Side Effect.
With Side Effect, yeah.
So it was the three of us. And also the ladies whose place I took, because she left the group, her name was Teresa. What's her name, CJ?
Teresa.
Anyway, she went on to do, I think she did the first black show where it was called.
Is that us?
Okay.
Or is that you?
Sounds like your washing machine, Jerry.
No. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I don't
Is
even
it Teresa Graves?
Yeah,
it's
Teresa.
Was it Teresa Graves?
She
Big
had
shout
a
out to Stephanie
program
Jackson.
She had
Love.
a show called Get
Christy Love.
Chrissy Love, yeah.
Yes. So I took her place. So it was a starting point for a lot of those who did become successful.
Okay. I told you, Stephanie would have the answers for it. Teresa Graves without hesitation.
Yay!
Thank you,
All right.
Stephanie.
Well, I think going that God bless that group. And that's where you probably could have played the Super Bowl back in those days, but the Doodletown Pipers don't sound like it should be someplace that CHOC'LET should be. So I'm glad.
Well,
that
you got to
found a way.
start somewhere.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
And
This
this
is
was
true.
straight out of high school.
Mhm.
So this was my first professional gig. And so, that was the first time I traveled all over the United States and stuff. So, it served its purpose.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And some
Okay,
great folks came out of there.
Mhm.
Jim
Well, yeah, I mean-
Gilstrap. Can you talk a little bit about Jim Gilstrap, please?
Yes, I can. Jim, he has been on everybody's album. He was like one of the elite background vocalists, and he was always on everybody's album. He always did all the jingles. He worked with Stevie Wonder. That's his voice on the beginning of "You Are the Sunshine." That's Jimmy.
right.
That's
And then
Jim.
also he, I always brag about him doing the theme song to "Good Times."
That's
Joe
right.
is looking up. That's Jimmy, and he's done so many other things. But those two things people would be familiar with.
Yeah. He
And
was
he's
great.
just a sweetheart, and he makes the
Yes, he
best
is.
sweet potato pie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Prayers up to him too. I know he just suffered a stroke a little
Yeah,
while.
he did. He's doing a lot better.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
I
definitely.
met Jim years ago, and I told him I know all about you through Chocolate, and he just laughed. He said, "I love Chocolate. I've been knowing her for so long." And
That's my brother.
yeah,
Mm.
Mhm.
Now, Augie Johnson with Side Effect. Again, I'm one of those cool groups. I had an album they did called Going Bananas,
mm-hmm.
and the
Mhm.
vinyl was all yellow. Did you get that one, CJ?
Nice.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Where the vinyl was yellow, Going
Definitely.
Bananas.
Mhm.
They had that whole Zoot Suit kind of vibe about them. That was a very
Right.
cool group. Very cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were on Fantasy Records. I really, really, really dug Side Effect.
When I used to be on the radio, way back when the first time I was on the radio, my going out song would be Always There by Side Effect.
Mm.
Mhm.
And I had
Always-
this little
That woman
rap
could
that I put over
sing.
the
Could
top
she
of.
sing? She could sing.
Yeah, yeah.
She's doing gospel now. She's been doing it for a while.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
We got a few
One
more
of
people
my
that
favorites
check
was
in.
Keep on.
Yeah,
Keep that same old
Keep that
feeling.
same old feeling.
Yes.
yeah.
Hey, come
Yeah.
on.
I'm writing
That
that
was
down. That's going to be in the lounge tomorrow.
Yeah, Mickey Howard was part of that.
She sure
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, her and
After-
Augie had
Mhm.
a tight relationship as well. So
Yeah, they did. They had kids together.
hmm
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Now I gotta ask you before we move on past the general questions. I think I asked you 3.5 years ago. I'm gonna ask you again. How did you get your name?
Well, back in the day, almost every group, every member of the group, everybody had names. That's just what we did. So we just were very intentional about naming ourselves. Everybody had to have a name. So I named everybody else, and Larry named me. He named me Chocolate.
Okay.
He said it was because I was sweet and
Aww.
Mhm.
hey and stuff.
Stuff and stuff. She said it's stuff.
And stuff. Looking down like a schoolgirl. I see you.
Mhm. Mhm. She was a schoolgirl. She was basically right out of school. How'd you come up with that spelling too? Because that fits so well in one of the songs that you guys
Well,
are famous for.
because I was trying to fit it in the song because I only had so much time to spell it in there, so I had to leave, a couple of
Yeah, you couldn't spell
letters
out
out.
chocolate. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's how I came
Those
up
extra
with that.
letters aren't even necessary.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know, right?
Chocolate,
Because who
chocolate.
says chocolate? Who says
Yeah,
that?
don't nobody
Nobody.
say that.
Yeah.
That's
Chocolate.
not funky.
Get some
Yeah.
chocolate milk. Some chocolate milk.
Did the word of faith.
So
And I like to ask artists this when they, we talked about this last week. Ryan and Cole brought it up last week. But when you guys are making songs and you did that little part, he said, okay, yeah, keep that in there. Or here's what I'm going to do, Larry. When it gets to my part, I'm going to say CHOCLET, chocolate. How much thought did you put into making, to me, is one of the most memorable lines out of anything you guys have ever done.
And that's very interesting how popular that became with women and men for some strange reason. They love that little part. But we have been gigging around town for probably before we got our record deal for about at least 2 years. So I was being shocked. Well, the place that it originally came from was when Larry was still with Sly. He was producing a group that I had, and we were called Hot Chocolate.
Mhm.
So I was being called Chocolate already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. All right, let's get back to the chat before we get started on the music. As some more of your friends and family have come in. Sheila the Diva says, great to see you. Patrice, her daddy was named after your daddy. God bless you.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
She lives here because she's up here in the Bay Area with us. And Sheila another Sheila says,
Well,
it's
calling
Sheila
you all
B.
by your names now. They
That's
got you
my
by the
homegirl.
government.
That's my homegirl right there. I've been knowing her forever.
Okay, okay. She's up in and then
She's not in San Francisco? Okay.
Oh, she said she's in Sacramento, Sacktown, Sacramento area. Near
From San
Sacramento.
Francisco.
Yeah,
Okay,
near
there you go.
Sacramento.
Mhm.
Cynthia Bass is saying hello from LA.
That's my sister.
Okay. And here's a Tiki, best friend. This is
Wow.
Don Lubro.
That's my best friend.
Weird, 95% of the audience is your people. So Ryan, you have to say it one more time how they can follow us every week. So not just when she's on, but every week.
Yeah, y'all. Yeah, go
Y'all
ahead and
heard that? Y'all
subscribe.
heard that, family? They
Yeah.
heard it.
Mitch Harden is with us. He's out in Antioch and keeping my dream alive. You're right, Mitch. Mitch is a good brother. Him and his wife, years ago, when I became an entrepreneur, they teach a business class, and I took a business class in there for like 6 or 8 weeks, and it helped a lot with a lot of my whole entrepreneurship. So thank you to Mitch and his wife Quincy.
There you
Mitch
go.
and his wife Quincy, shouting them out. Kevin Bird says he's in Ontario, right next door to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's more people. Rahid is in Hayward, Funk, California.
That's my
Hayward, Funk.
brother. That's my
Rashid,
brother.
get out of here.
We collaborated on that Return to Funk festival in Oakland
Oh, right on.
that
Okay.
we tried to make happen.
A few more greetings from New Jersey.
Nice.
New Jersey.
Michael Austin is related to this lady right down here.
I know, Michael.
Yeah. So it's on and on. So we got a lot of people already in the chat and ready. Oh, one more, Gina Champion up in Seattle. She joins us every week. I went to high school with her, so thank you, Gina. All right.
All right.
So now this first album that we were talking about, simply entitled Graham Central Station. Let me pull up a picture of it right here. Everybody remembers it. I got that album somewhere around here. We got to talk about that cover though. Where is that location that you took that great picture?
That's
Looks like a train station.
that's
San
the train
Diego.
station in Oakland.
Yeah.
What?
West Oakland. Yeah.
Okay.
The one that's
Yeah.
torn down now. You can't see it, but it's that was in West Oakland.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah. I remember that train station.
And,
Okay.
and the little conductor man right there, he was authentic. He decided that he just wanted to be in the picture, so we let him stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He made the right decision.
You
Yeah.
did.
And I
Yeah.
really love this picture because it's so indicative. Like we didn't have a stylist or anything, right? So we were just trying to figure it out. So we said, okay, we're gonna do it at a train station. So let's figure this whole thing out. How should we look? So by the time we got through, I think we came up with something pretty good. I like
Yes, he
it.
did. Yes, he did. I like it a lot.
And
I
then
like it a lot.
the back of it is just us, being us, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to figure it out still.
You
But
looking
that
very.
one turned out good too. I like that
Yeah.
one too.
Yeah.
I used
like
to
the-
get my clothes, both of those dresses, I would get at antique stores in Berkeley and San Francisco. I
Wow.
would do
love
all
that.
my shopping there.
I love that. I love that. I love everything about that cover, the color, the choice. Clearly, you didn't maybe have an official stylist, but somebody had some real style in there. You guys got the right
Well,
right
we just had
textures,
an
everything.
idea. Yeah, we just had an idea, and we were just trying to make the idea work.
It worked.
And you're looking very queen like.
Yes.
Ryan Nicola, you got a pose that's very similar to that one on one of your.
I
your posts.
do. I don't know where it is, but yes, I do.
I should have brought that up.
I'll
Right,
find it.
Okay, you find that,
Find
we'll compare that. So now, some of the songs, again, all the songs, we're going to go through every single one of them. There's 9 songs on the album. I think it was
Okay.
like 38 minutes long. So kind of a short album compared to these days. But I'd say at least 5 or 6 of those songs, I can tell you, I can sing most of those right off the top of my head 50 years later. So
I heard that, and that's what it's all about, right?
that's
Mhm.
right.
Wow,
That's exactly. You need for stuff to be timeless.
that's
Okay.
right.
CJ Flash, you want to kick it off?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Waiting for so long, waiting to play for you some of our songs. We've been waiting for so long. We want to play for you some of our songs. Bet your biology.
The Central Station is the name of our group. We're making this record especially for you. So lay your back and hear us play and sing, 'cause we are really gonna
You are thing. Graham Central Station, 'cause we've been waiting.
Everybody,
for
come
so
on.
long. Waiting to play for you some of our songs. We've been waiting for so long. We want to play for you some of our songs, 'cause we've been waiting.
That is so fresh.
So that song
Yeah.
said, Larry borrowed from a brother named Fred Knight, and it was a song called "I've Been Lonely for So Long."
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Friday Night. Yes, I remember that song. But that was, and who decided to make it a cappella? I mean, obviously, you guys showed your chops off a little bit. The first song out the box from our group is a funk group, but we're going to do it a cappella.
That was Larry's idea because Larry was strongly influenced by doo-wop. You hear a lot of it in there. He growing up, he was strongly influenced by that. So that was his idea.
Yeah, it does. It does show off the vocal chops. It gives you just a little space to breathe before you get into what you know is just kind of a musical odyssey. So I love it. I love it. I know how full, Larry Graham can be in terms of the musicality. So it's so good just to hear the voices.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mikkel London is in here saying hey to the fam. Sakai Smith.
That's my sister.
Sakai, she says you are iconic and a fashionista. So there you go.
Precious.
She really is. We've had her on the show a couple of times too. Yeah. She's part of the family.
She is precious.
Okay, wait. Oh, here we go. Now let's.
Photo. Is that the photo?
That's the one I'm thinking of. Hold on.
There it is.
Come on now, girl.
Now you got yours.
Lots of thigh meat. Lots of thigh meat.
That was beautiful, though.
Yeah, you had a lot less thigh meat. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but there's more hair in hers, though. There's more hair.
True. Let's try to make up for the hair with the thighs.
Nice. Chocolate being that Graham Central Station was a new group. Was it received immediately from the Bay Area, or did you get more love from other parts of the world than as opposed to being at home?
We were received immediately because, of course, everybody in the Bay Area knew who Larry was, right? And so we had bases that we went places we played. We played at the orphanage. We could go there anytime, and we were there all the time. And we worked out a lot of our shows and stuff there. Another place we played all the time, the Keystone Berkeley. We played there all the time. So, and we always, everywhere we played, even our rehearsals, when we would rehearse, that would turn into somehow like a club. Like people started getting dressed up. I'm not kidding. People started getting dressed up to come to our rehearsals. So that made us have to get dressed up. So every time we were rehearsing, we felt like we was doing a gig. And mind you, it was free. Everybody was there free. But yeah, so always the support from the Bay Area. But then after we started getting out of there, and going on the road and stuff, most of our support came from like DC, Washington, DC, and Philly. They were big supporters.
Now, did you get a bit of a head start with Larry Graham being the leader of the band? And they give you a good head start? Were people aware of who he was? And
oh, yeah.
Okay, so
sure. They were waiting. They were waiting to see what is Larry Graham getting ready to do.
They were waiting for so long.
Exactly.
Waiting to hear from you.
Was real curious.
Let's play another one of your songs. What's the one that's right after that, Flash? Do it.
Standing by the highway, waiting in the rain. Standing by the highway, waiting in the rain. Although the sun is shining, still it brings me pain. Yeah. Why people break up, only just to make up. Hey, baby, it really ain't no fun to me. It really ain't no fun to me. Yeah.
And now what you got to remember, folks, is that you just heard We've Been Waiting for So Long and how that ended. And then this song comes in like boom, like right after that.
Damn, it attacked.
That was crazy.
And that was a remake of Al Green.
Al Green.
I remember the Al Green cover. I remember the version of Al Green.
Yeah, there's 9 songs on the album. Larry wrote all of them except It Ain't No Fun to Me and another one that we'll come to a little bit later. So again, a great version of it. Now the band is showing that funk.
Yeah.
So was that intentional too, to come from that a cappella right into it? Was that something that you guys would sit around and think about? I mean, was there 5, 6 people in the group, so it had to be a lot of voices?
No, because like I said, we have been doing this same, all the songs on this album we have been doing like for a couple of years. And so we already knew the impact of doing that a cappella and then bam, attacking. We already knew what that was gonna do. So it was intentional.
I love it.
That's dope.
I love it. It just, you're talking about, so many things that you're talking about is about being seasoned. Is about, really cutting your teeth in the game, knowing exactly what your audience appreciates, and then giving it to them, on record, on wax. So you already had baked in classics ready to go.
The only problem we really had was trying to capture the energy when we played live, trying to capture that on the vinyl. That was hard to do. So what we would do is we would, all be in the studio at the same time, playing at the same time. So that helped us somewhat to have that energy level.
Well, Chris Jasper of the Isley Brothers, we speaking to him some years back, he said that he would tour with you all a lot, you and the Johnson Brothers, and he said that he would be in the wings watching Graham Central, and he said he would tell the brothers, he said, fellas, I think we need to we might need to wait a little while before, it's too smoky up there on that stage. Like he said Graham Central just tore it up. And he said he just said, oh man, he said it'd be hair ghetto. He said it'd be them kind of songs where he just was like, oh my goodness, he was like, I don't know, we can follow this.
Right.
He's such a nice, humble person. I really liked him. But he was right though.
There you go. Claim it. Claim all of that.
You better pop your collar. I love it.
If you don't believe it, go look at the go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying he was right, because we were hard to follow.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of energy and it was relentless. You know what I'm saying? Relentless. Jumping up and down, playing at the same time. It really was. And so everybody was tired when we got through. The audience, they were ready to pass out. So it was hard to follow us.
There's a clip out there from when you guys did the midnight special, and you opened up with we were waiting. We've been waiting, and it went into hair, and it was just and then tis my kind of music right after that, and it was it's so fire that years ago when I started doing internet radio, I just captured it and I just let it play. You can visualize what you're hearing, because they couldn't see it, they could just hear I was playing the audio, but you can visualize it. It's that fire. That fire. So
it's real. I miss it. I miss that kind of energy on stage in these days and times.
Yeah.
When I go, the concerts and stuff, I miss it.
Now, what do you do? What did they do back in those days in between acts? Obviously, CJ Flash is the show between the show nowadays. But back in those days, what did they just? There was no music.
They didn't have DJs. They didn't have that. Sometimes the venue would play music over the speakers or over the wherever the music comes from.
The house.
Yeah, and sometimes that would happen, but not all the time. And so, believe it or not, people would just wait. They would just wait.
What? What is that? What is waiting?
Yeah.
Waiting quietly.
They probably had to eat some Wheaties after all y'all show.
Yeah, they would just wait.
I love it.
All right. It's all about the music. That's what it should be. So nowadays, everybody's so busy taking cameras about themselves.
There were so many artists on the show, and the tickets were so cheap. And the show would just move like that, so they wouldn't have to really wait too long.
Okay. That's funny. Yeah, I've seen ticket bills with like 6 or 7 artists on it, including like the OJs, all these groups, and $10 for the front row and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So I'll take the entire row number 12. I'll take the whole row.
Right. I just want to run back and forth.
$10 was big money back then.
Well, yeah, yes, I guess.
Because remember, gas was like 50 cents a gallon. So
yeah, my first job paid me $1.65 an hour, so I'd have to work a good long time.
A day.
You kids don't remember that, Ryan and D minor. Y'all don't remember that kind of thing.
I don't know nothing about that. I just
You
live in
know,
inflation, constant inflation over here.
I'm only 7.
when I got the $2 an hour, I thought I was making big money at that point because I could count it up easily. $2, 4 hours, $8. Almost got that ticket, CJ. Almost, you know. So.
Almost got
You're
that.
watching IRTS Live. It's Tuesday night. That means we are here for you. We got a great guest, CHOC'LET, as we celebrate the 50-year anniversary of Graham Central Station. And we are honoring and playing and featuring the very first album from Graham Central Station, which is entitled Graham Central Station. We talk about the first two songs. We've been waiting. It ain't no fun to me. And CJ Flash, give us that third one, which is probably my favorite one on the album. Go for it, brother.
All right. I gotta take it from this part right here. It's important.
That's funky.
Ooh, I wish you could play that whole one. I wish you could play that whole song.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one of my favorites. And the thing about that song, the little backstory is that really did happen. People did, because back in the day, men used to wear wigs. All those big afros and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of times those were wigs.
You mean the Jacksons and the Silvers? That wasn't their hair?
That was their hair.
Okay, all right.
That was their hair. I'm talking about the
grown men.
Not Jermaine. He said he said not Jermaine.
And so, people really did used to ask, especially the men.
Wow.
If, that was all their hair, especially Larry, because he wore wigs and he would wear, a lot of hair. So people really did ask that question. So that is where that song came from.
Wow. Oh, how the tables have turned.
There's some hair right now.
This picture. See all this hair?
Is that Willie Wild with the hair, with the big natural?
Everybody had on a wig except for David Dynamite.
Oh,
and
wow.
David Dynamite was the guitar player in Grand Central Station.
Yeah. Which is David Dynamite in this picture? Which one is it?
David Dynamite is
right
the
far right.
Far right.
With the straight hair or with the hat on?
Yeah, straight hair.
The non-black gentleman.
Okay.
Yeah.
David was. I think David was Mexican. He was a Mexican.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you had to put that into your writer that we need hair products.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you can pay us $50 or less if you give us some more hair products.
That's real.
To take us through the tour or something like that.
They pretty well had the hair situation under control.
Wow.
They
That's funny.
have been doing it for a long time.
Now, what was under the hair? Was it like a fade? What
No,
they
it
have?
was like on the album cover, the braids.
Oh, okay.
All the
Yeah.
guys, mostly all the guys had braids.
Nice. I love it.
Cornrows.
Can
The
you see
other
it?
one. The other one.
This one.
Yeah, that one. See, everybody
Wow.
has cornrows.
But
Yeah, the
thank
afros
you.
probably were better. That was probably a better version.
I like that. I
You like that?
Yes.
That's what I like.
It's different.
Everybody's doing that.
It's
Yeah,
different.
that's
It's
why.
different because it came a ways away from the conch. So it wasn't, it wasn't fried dye laid to the side.
Right.
It was more Afrocentric. Cornrows was us.
But it was
Are
but
those
it was
cornrows?
still those are
Yeah,
cornrows.
they're cornrows.
Okay, now
Yeah.
y'all got to remember, I'm as old as that picture, and so I remember seeing fellas like that, and I don't remember us wearing cornrows a whole lot back in those days. But
My father-in-law has an iconic photo of him with cornrows with the one braid down the center and then the rest of the cornrows going this way. And then he was
with bees on the
10
bottom
people.
sometimes.
Right on, right
I
on.
used to get my hair braided by a girl named Marion Smith. She would braid my hair for me, and then I could wear it like that for like a week, and then take it out. My afro would boom like that. Then you
That's
have to
right.
wash
That
it.
would
Yeah,
happen.
that's what happened. That's what happened.
hmm
Y'all got that good hair. See, I've always had this problem.
Bruh.
There.
Just braid the goatee right down the center.
Yeah,
Right
just
there.
that's it. We're gonna break this here.
Yeah, just braid it down, put a bead on it.
There you go.
Put a bead on it. That'll make it all right.
Hey,
Mhm.
Chocolate. With you all had such a obviously a synergy as we are going through the album. I wanted to ask, what were the members? What were some of the guys like musically and as people?
What were some of the guys like musically as people? Okay. Okay. Well, Herschel was Herschel Happiness for a reason, because you could not shut Herschel up. He was very what's the word? Like always moving, always talking. That's why when he plays the clavinet, his fingers move so fast, because that's the type of person he was.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody's fingers move as fast as Herschel's still does.
Wow.
So most of the names depicted who the people were, like Willie Wild. He was his mama's wildest child, because he really was. He had a brother named Ted Sparks. He played the drums also, and Ted played with Natalie Cole for a long time.
Oh, wow.
But so Willie, yeah, he was that one that was always, they say you got to watch people who are quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, he was that one. Had to watch him, because he didn't say a lot. Who else? Butch. He was straight out the church. He played the organ. He was straight out the church, and just everything about him was just soulful. David. He played the guitar. He was like, he had a style all his own. In order for him to end up being in the group with us, he had to be special, and he was special. David could go from 0 to 60 on a guitar solo like that.
Dynamite.
And who does that leave? And we know about Larry, right? And you know about me.
Well, did they treat you like a little sister, or what was your relationship with all these guys, all these men up in there?
Well, I was with Larry. Larry and I were together. So,
okay.
Chocolate, you heard that, Jerry, earlier.
I didn't make the
Hence the name. Make the
I did
connection.
not make the connection.
The rest of the guys, though, we were a big family, and they were like my brothers, and they still are. Herschel is left, Larry's left, and myself.
Yeah, we tried to find Herschel as well. A friend of mine knows him. We tried to get a hold of him too, to see if we get to do the show with you, but we never were able to track him down. I should have started by asking you. Duh.
Well, yeah, because I talk to Herschel at least 2 to 3 times a month, because we do Bible study together.
Nice.
And I'm very intentional about getting my spiritual life in order.
Right on with the right.
I want to be Jehovah's friend. Okay. I want us to have this friendship.
Right.
So I talk to Herschel all the time, and he's not really doing music anymore like that.
Okay.
But
tell him we said hello. He left a legacy. He definitely left a mark in the music world. Let him know we said that. All right.
I sure will.
All right, so I'm going to change the subject just for one quick second, and we'll get back to the album. You are also an author.
Yes.
And a few years ago, you wrote a book, which is, I don't have it here, so I'll just show it here.
There you go.
That's it. Deja vu.
I love it.
All right, talk about this book, which you, by the way, autographed for me. So boom. Thank you very much.
That book is,
Memoirs of a Funk Diva.
Right. It's mostly about my career with Grand Central Station, but it's before and also after, because after Grand Central Station, I was with Rolls Royce for about 4 years. So it's just, I figure I'm an avid reader. So I really like to read about people who are in music business. And so anytime I would pick up books and try to read about these juicy autobiographies and stuff, memoirs and stuff they would have, every time I would read it, I wouldn't read anything that I didn't already know. And so that's not fair to me. So I said, okay, well, when I'm gonna write a book, and when I write a book, I'm going to, make it a history book. I want it to be big on the history. I wanted all the facts to be right, and I wanted people to find out some things they didn't know already.
I
So,
love it.
yeah, so that's what I did, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
You
It's been
should be. It's a
holding
great book.
strong now for about. I wrote that book about a long time ago, about 11 years ago, something like that. And so I'm still selling it. People who are interested in funk music and interested in hearing about it from a female point of view in a male-dominated genre.
Mm.
Well, let's sell some more. Tell these people where they can get it.
Yeah.
They can get it on my website, onestopfunkshop.com, and that's the number one stop funk shop.
One Stop Funk Shop with an O, right? Funk with an O.
No, I was afraid that people would get confused.
Okay.
Smart.
OneStopFunkShop.com. You can get that book.
Tired you and me.
Deja Vu. And I'll show it again before the night is done. So, all right.
It's a really good book. I'm not just
it
saying.
really is. I enjoy it. And it's a good, easy read too. Like you were saying, it's a good, easy read, and you can zip through that pretty quick. I enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you.
We are talking about Graham Central Station. It's their 50-year anniversary. We're talking about the very first album they did. I do want to holler at my boy Rufus Keaton from Atwater, because I did bring up Atwater and Marion Smith. He remembers her and braiding my hair back in the day. So yes, I did go way back. I did go way back. And whenever I bring up Atwater and I bring up my boy Rufus, and that means you guys know what picture is coming.
Come on.
You know what picture is coming.
Foundation.
Bam. Bam.
Hey.
That is Rufus in the all gray right there next to Tommy Moon in the all white. So yeah.
Is that really all your hair?
That looks like their hair.
That was definitely our hair. That was definitely our hair. We ain't no money to be buying no wigs, So
that was a blowout kit. For real.
It Ultra Sheen, Afro Sheen, and Ultra Sheen Cosmetics.
That's right.
There we go.
CJ Flash, give us song number 4 from that fantastic album. Let's go.
I know you make your right the by those afraid to your hair down low. One almost could not tell. Your stars were here, but lights couldn't carry
See, that makes me feel like I'm sitting in the backseat of the car drinking some Ripple and some Thunderbird or something like that.
Or some Mickey's Big Mouth. That's what
Something like that. Yeah.
Mickey's Big Mouth.
Not that I did that, but that's what I heard, what people would be doing.
I heard something in the beginning of that song that CJ where he played it at. Is that Funk Box?
Yes.
That was what you played, right? That was your instrument.
No, I wasn't me. That it was on the automatic.
Okay. So,
right there.
Yeah.
That song is very interesting. Larry wrote that song, and he originally sang it, but since I didn't have any solos on the album, he gave it to me. But what's interesting about that song are the lyrics. For instance, a rooster's crow ain't always 5 o'clock. Oh no. A piglet's oink don't mean that slop don't rock. So,
like I said, backseat of the car, drinking Thunderbird. y'all just writing stuff down and saying, let's go with that, right? Pick that big slop, put that in there.
He's coming from a real deep place right there. But the track was awesome. I love music.
Yeah, for sure. I was just really marveling on the different time signatures that are approached in each one of the songs. You know, the first song is straight ahead. Second song is a little bit a different tempo and a different time signature. And then Hair does its own thing. And then this one too, just the approach of, you know, your vocals over that clavinet is just totally different. You want to speak to like how you guys decided to approach different songs, because it's not a traditional approach.
Right. Well, Larry wrote most of these songs on this first album were already written. Larry wrote most of them. So like these songs came out of his head, and you know and that's how he does, because on all the albums it's like that, the rhythms and the songs and the flavors and the signatures and all that are very diverse, because he came from you know, he played jazz with his mom for a long time, and then of course the funk, and then he was influenced by doo-wop. So all of this came, and then when we started collaborating, the rest of the group started collaborating with him. Then that's all of us adding all of our experiences to it too. And so Larry was open to. He wasn't trying to just do one thing. You know, he was open to a lot of different flavors. So that's mainly the reason.
You can hear it for sure.
Then what instrument did you play? Tell them about your thing, because I know you told a story once about how you wanted to play something too. So what was that you picked up?
I wanted to play something too. I just didn't want to stand up there and beat on the tambourine. That's not what I want to do. So I told Larry, you know, we need to find something for me to play. And so it was his idea for me to play the Rhythm King drum machine, which I think is the very first drum machine that ever came out, I believe. And so you could either do it but with the buttons manually, or you could set the rhythms. And so that's what I started to play, the funk box, and percussion. Basically percussion. It has every sound of the drums and percussion on it.
Nice.
And you were the first and only one to play it live like that, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's what somebody told me that investigated that. And so, and I did not even realize that. I was just trying to not be standing up there. And so, so yeah, that's good to know. I'm glad about that.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it. Well, I know Erica does a version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to speak to your lineage. You know, I know Erica does her studying, and I know she studied you. And so just to know that, you know, there are so many women and men for sure, but women who follow in your legacy, you know, off of what you did with the funk box, and now women with the MPC and singing and all of that at the same time. It's really fresh.
It's awesome. I love it.
And let's go back to the chat real quick. You know Eric EQ Young?
That's my cousin.
Yes. He got brothers and sisters and cousins all over this country.
He plays the bass. He's a star in the
family reunion.
In the Bay Area.
Yeah, he's a big friend of the show too.
He's one of the Bay Area favorites.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we love Eric.
He's been on a couple of times. Friend of the show, been a great guy too. Michael Boudreau again has a question. What was the group's favorite place to play in what city? Do you happen to remember that, or did something stick out to you?
DC? Oh, wow.
Without hesitation.
Yeah.
Okay. Why
is that?
Because DC was so accepting. They knew, like DC and Philly, what the audience would do, they would bring tambourines, cowbells, whistles, you know, anything they could carry in their hands. And so they would party with us. They'd be playing and blowing whistles and partying with us throughout the whole set. And so it just became one great big revival.
I love it.
In DC. So I just like the level of party that they rise to. DC and Philly too. Philly did it too. But DC had good food.
Chocolate City, yeah.
Chocolate City.
That was your city, girl.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned DC. You mentioned DC. I know firsthand that you and Chuck Brown were pretty good friends. How did that start?
Like busting loose.
Busting loose. That was awesome. I used to do a show, blog talk called Everybody's a Star, and I believe I might have one of the last interviews that Chuck ever did. I believe I do. And I have that in the archives. And Go-Go was like, he was a hero, you know.
Yeah.
Anytime people can play music where you cannot be still, even if you try,
Mhm.
that's what Go-Go did. Even if you try, you cannot be still. If you could, then somebody needs to call 911. You know what I'm saying? And he was the godfather of that, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He talked about on that show how he came up with the term go-go. He said that he wanted to play the type of music that just goes and goes and goes and goes.
Okay.
And that's how
Sometimes it's
He
simple as
said
that.
that on the interview.
on the interview.
Oh, okay, I forgot. It was a long time ago.
I ain't forgot.
I still have it though, but okay.
Yes, you do.
You're breaking ground. Didn't even know it. See,
Yeah.
like we're doing tonight. It's I hear TSI for you people that are joining us for the first time. Thank you very much. We're here every Tuesday with a different show, a new show, just like this one with great artists that we talk to. Let me give you a hint of some of the people we've spoken to over the last few years. You can go to and Ryan Nicole is going to tell you when we come back how you can find us. Check out this clip from Skip Martin of the Daz Band.
Gosh, as a matter of fact, so the day we won that Grammy Award for Let It Whip, we were at the Biltmore Auditorium in Los Angeles. That's the first day I met Prince, because we were going on the red carpet, getting ready to go in, and this little guy in platforms, he's like he floated up to me because I'm 6'2", right?
Yeah.
This guy floated up to me. He's like a moth, right? He floated up. He said, "I really like that song, Let It Whip," and floated away. Oh, wait! And I looked around. I said, "Who was that?" He said, "That was Prince."
That was Skip Martin. You can find that show on our YouTube page. Tell me a little bit more about the YouTube page, please, Miss Ryan Nicole.
Yes, folks, you can catch our every single season, I think, except for the first one where Jerry Dove was learning how to use the internet.
We'll leave it at that.
We're gonna leave it there.
When we become billionaires, I will release that video.
the lost files. But you can look on YouTube, look for IRTS show, and you will see every season, including clips of shows like the one with Skip Martin, the one we did last week, probably some ones that we're doing with CHOC'LET that we've done in the past, and the one that we're doing right now. You can catch all the archive shows, and you can catch what's coming up. So again, like, subscribe this way, and follow this way. You don't have to find out by surprise. It'll let you know. You'll get an alert.
That's right. We had a lot of fun with Skip. He was telling some great stories, man.
Yeah, he was
We're going to have him come back for a part 2 pretty soon, because we only talked about his work with the Daz Band. He was also with Kool and the Gang for like 10, 12 years. We're going to get to that too. So, but tonight we're celebrating Graham Central Station's 50th anniversary. CJ Flash, I think we're up to song number 5 on the album.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Baby, listen to me. What it is make you want to live the life you live. Take all what you know is mine to give. I'll be there to ask for more. Tell me what it is. 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 All the yours and I'll give you mine. Don't you love me no more. Borrow time. You don't need.
That sounds like church music right there.
Okay.
That's some
one
church
of my
music.
favorites.
That's literally what I was gonna say too.
Yeah.
You know,
For
I'm
sure.
a country girl. I came from a little East Texas town, and we used to have revivals in church, and it would be the church would be way back in the woods, and people would come and they would bring all kinds of food and put it out on the church grounds on picnic tables. And we'd be inside the church and they'd be playing this kind of music right there. And you'd be fanning and sweating. And this is exactly what this song reminds me of. Every time it takes me right back to that little bitty hot church in the little bitty country town.
Yeah.
And it also reminds me of some early Pointer Sisters music too.
It does.
It does. You know, like their first couple of albums, it's got that sound to it too. Kind of a heavy bass, a lot of going on the bottom of the. If I'm not a musician, but you know what I mean. There's a lot going on the bottom.
Yeah, you're right.
It's kind of sloppy down on the bottom like that.
Mm-hmm. It's like
they
a
came
roof.
straight out the church too.
Right.
Yeah, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did.
That's-
East Oakland, West Oakland, one of those parts.
West Oakland.
Yeah.
So,
It was funny when I think about that song. I think of a song that the Meters had did, "All I Do Every Day," and they was actually messing with the funk box a little bit. This is a couple of years after y'all came out, but whenever I think of Grand Central, especially in that first album, I always think of what the Meters were doing later.
Mm-hmm.
No, they were listening to Grand Central.
Oh,
They had to.
Yeah, because Dumpster Funk, they do some Grand Central Station today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a show with Dumpster Funk a couple of weeks ago. It was Dumpster Funk opening up for George Clinton and the P-Funk All-Stars, Parliament Funkadelic.
There you go.
At the Mountain Winery, and they smashed. And yes, they did a Graham Central Station song. It was great.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
It was great. Great.
now, Eric E.Q. Young wants to do a Graham Central Station tribute in February and bring you in. He wants you to join.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
We just booked you a gig tonight,
You
Chocolate.
better sell them tickets. You better sell them tickets, EQ. That's
Well,
the way
you
you
know,
do it.
that's how family does. Family does stuff like that.
Mhm.
And when I
Man,
say
that-
family, I'm being serious because he found on some ancestry website, I forget which one it was, there's so many of them out there, but he hit me up and he had it right there.
Wow.
that
Wow.
you know that he found that we are related.
Wow.
And I was so glad to hear that because that means that he'll give me that family discount next time.
Okay, cousin.
Work it. Work
Right.
Work it.
So I was really glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Eric he's funky. He is so funky.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he can play that bass too. He can play
Yes,
that
he
bass.
can. He can.
I'm sure he was influenced by Larry a little bit as well.
He talked about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he definitely talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, CJ Flash, we're going on to another one, which is probably the biggest hit off of the very first album. Matter of fact, the song that we're about to play reached number 20 on the R&B Billboard charts back in the day. Can you handle it?
I can't.
Of course I
Can you
can.
handle
I
it?
know I can.
Let's see if we can handle it.
Yes, you made a fool out of me, girl. But that made me the man I was trying to be, girl. Yeah. You got me wrong. Yes, you did now. But you let me strong. Yes, you did, girl. Put it out, can you handle that? Say what you did to me, can you handle that? Can you handle that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I heard that song the first couple of times back in the day. Again, it comes out to a nice sort of melodic kind of a thing, and all of a sudden it switches up. Like
Yeah.
Ryan was talking about all those changes that you do.
Yeah.
It got funky in a hurry. FONKY in a hurry.
Yeah.
Mhm. the fun thing about that song is I remember one of the biggest gigs we did was at the North Sea Jazz Festival. It was so many people there that it looked like a sea of people. You could not even, they looked like they went into the horizon. And Larry, he always liked to have people sing that yodeling part. And so they would sing that part. And everybody sang that, and I can't even explain to you what that sounded like with thousands and thousands and thousands of people yodeling. That was like awesome. And every time I hear that song, that's what I think of, what that sounded like.
Bet you the sky opened up and it started to rain or something.
She said something right. I can't even, don't have words.
Wow.
But to hear all those people hit those notes all the way up there in the sky. That was awesome.
I bet. Wow.
Isn't it kind of cool too that as an artist, you can be a black group saying yodeling, and all of a sudden everybody say, "Okay, yeah, we like that. We'll take that." Don't even question it. Just accept it. You know?
And do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Can sing the notes.
Right.
And that was your biggest hit off that first album, hit number 20. That crossover a little bit. Was it just strictly R&B? And still to this day, one of those songs that people associate with you guys. Yeah,
Crossover a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. I think I saw you guys back on Soul Train back in the day. You get your two piece and a biscuit back in the day too. You talked about Don Cornelius earlier.
Yeah, that was a great experience being on Soul Train.
I want to know more. That's all you have to say about that?
She must only got one piece in it.
They had to split the 2 piece amongst the whole group.
Remember, that was a big group.
It was an honor just to be on Soul Train. If you can YouTube and see yourself on Soul Train, I mean, you know what I'm saying? How many people can do that?
Right.
Some of the other things that you said you had done, you mentioned a little bit earlier that, and we got like 3 more songs on the album that we'll get back to in just a couple of minutes here. But I want to talk about your time with Rolls Royce and some of the other things that you've done. So Rolls Royce, did you come in after Gwen? Was it Gwen Dickey was the lead singer?
It was way after her. It was
way after her? Okay.
Yeah, it was in the 90s. Rolls Royce has had several young lady singers. It was in the 90s. One of the best gigs. I really enjoyed it because it was easy. It was an easy gig because, you know, Rolls Royce just has hit after hit after hit after hit. And as soon as the band struck up and started playing maybe about 4 notes, everybody started screaming and hollering and singing the song. So it wasn't much I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Except to stick the microphone out like that to the audience. And because the women, they love singing those Rolls Royce songs. So that was great. That was a great experience. I really did like that.
Got my like wishing on a star.
Wishing on a star. I'm going down.
All the car wash stuff. Yeah, all the car. Put your money where your mouth is, and yeah, they had a ton of hits. You're right. Another one that was bass heavy. That group was bass heavy, and their music sounded like a lot of bass in there, and horns and all that kind of thing too. So.
And they had one real funky one that we would do. I think it was maybe the funkiest one they had is called "Do Your Dance."
Do Your Dance.
We used to like to do that one.
Yeah.
Do your dance.
Nice. Now this beautiful lady that you're looking at right now, check out her in her earlier days. Get some of these pictures of this wonderful lady.
I got plenty of those pictures, right?
Yeah.
All that hair.
And then, but here's the one I really like. Here's the one that probably got a crush for a lot of fellas back in the day. Right here, look at that one. Look at
that was the very first promo picture we took.
How you doing? How you doing?
That was in the living room of Larry's house.
Really?
So that thing is in his house?
And that statue right there was the kind. I don't know if you could see the little threads, but it had little thin tubes that oil ran down.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It looked like water was. It looked like a fountain.
My mom had one of those. Yeah.
I love that picture. That's so cute.
I don't know why I have a monkey around my neck.
You do have a monkey, don't you?
Italian.
It's a monkey for sure.
Yeah, monkeys put around her neck and a 3-legged monkey.
That monkey and a gold woman with oils coming down there. What the hell?
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And they didn't even spell your name right either. That was obviously before you got to be the chocolate that we know. You were chocolate. Now you're chocolate. But that's a great picture.
Yeah, that is.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Oh boy.
No, that was the kind of like, oh, my daughter's gonna hear about that. I'm gonna hear about that from my daughter later. Kind of a oh
I
boy,
still
right
have
there.
that monkey because it was a belt buckle. I still have it.
Oh, you wore it up here though.
Huh?
Yeah, you wore it
I
as a
still have
necklace.
that bad boy. I hold on to stuff. I'm a collector.
I love it. I love
Mhm.
it. You're a fashion plate.
Chocolate. With that first album, was did Gregorico or Neil Sean of Journey, before he joined Journey, did any of them play on any of the songs from the first album?
No, they didn't. But you do know that they were in the very first iteration of Grand Central Station. Yeah, but we never did do any recordings with them. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, CJ Flash. We have 3 songs left. Song number 7, which written by Larry and Freddie Stone of Sly and the Family Stone.
I love this song.
Who was part of the band at the very beginning. CJ's already talking about he loves it. So I'm going to put solo shot on you, CJ, as you play this song. Go.
At the end of that song, it was very dramatic. That's when everything would blow up. We would have all the pyrotechnics and the at the end of People.
Was that your finale song?
Yeah, sometimes it was. Yeah.
All the songs sound different.
And Larry did this solo. He did this 25-minute solo.
Wow.
Okay.
So it was very dramatic, but it was a favorite though.
Yeah.
On that first album, who did y'all go out and tour with?
That's a good question. I think Billy Preston.
That's a good
show.
Preston. I remember that being one of the first tours.
Were you opening or closing? You're opening for him, I guess?
Yes, we were. And that was so fun. That was so much fun. Billy, he was something else. Talking about somebody that can play and entertain. And he was so gospel centric also. And we were. So Billy would wait until everything cooled down before he came out there. But then he would light it right back up again, though.
Yes.
Light it back up.
Spirit in the building.
I know you.
Go ahead, D.
Go ahead, sis.
I was gonna say sometimes I'm in this show and I'm just sad because I never got to see these shows. You know what I mean? Like I just feel so much envy that for everybody who got to be in these concerts, experience CHOC'LET and Grand Central Station and all these icons live. Like I just can't imagine what that was like. Even hearing it on the albums is amazing. So the live experience had to be out of this world.
It was. And words really can't explain it. And I understand what you're saying too, because it'll never be that way again. I don't think. Right. I don't think it will. The best you can do, though, at least they have YouTube and at least they have concerts and stuff, and so you can sort of kind of, experience it a little bit. Yeah,
I'll try.
Yeah,
my sister. You can go ahead on and make it happen yourself.
We working on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I echo the same sentiments as my sister over here. I think we were unfortunately missing out. We missed out on that, but I could just only imagine what it's like, you know. And speaking with Chris Jasper, as we mentioned earlier, as he was talking, I was visualizing exactly what he's talking about, like man, just how he said how intense that stage would be when y'all came off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I can tell you, as somebody who was at some of those concerts that you're talking about, it was a lot of fun. I don't know that we realized how good we got it, but there was just so much music. Yeah, there was so much music that was out. I mean, and I talk about this a lot, from bands to singing groups like the Temptations, and then you got solo artists like we talked about, Al Green, and female groups, and just so much different music, and everybody doing their thing, man, and just
we're spoiled.
Just proud. Afros all over the place, going in there with your double knit pants on, your eleganza slacks and platforms.
I'll tell you one thing. It does sound like it was very warm. At least there's that. I don't know about double knit pants and afros.
Well, you couldn't stay out in the sun very long in that double knit. You couldn't do that.
I bet.
The collar would start to turn up on you or something. No, nothing too back in those days. All the major artists had live albums. Did you guys ever do a live album back?
No,
they would do a live double record album. Did you guys have one?
Never did that.
Oh, that would have been cool. That would have been cool.
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
You can tell when Chocolate got something on. Yeah, we should do it.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
I told him.
But 2 or 3 times tonight, when she said, "Yeah, 2 pieces."
Well, I
2 pieces and a biscuit. Yeah.
What I'm doing is I'm, filtering myself inside.
Very good. And I respect that. I ain't trying to get you in trouble. Hey, we got another cousin of yours out here.
That's Sherry. That's Sherry.
Sherry introduced me to CJ.
Yep.
I met CJ through Sherry.
Yep.
Wow.
That's one of my favorite cousins. She's in San Francisco.
Yes, she is.
I got a lot of people in the Bay Area for real.
Yeah, you do.
As a matter of fact, you live in Pittsburgh, don't you?
Pittsburgh, Bay Point, yes.
Yes. I went to school in Pittsburgh for a minute. My father used to live there. He was a school teacher. And so I went to Pittsburgh High School for a minute.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And Pittsburgh High School is famous for their high school marching band. They're world famous. I mean, they've gone into Europe and won contests, and they're famous for that.
Wow.
Always have been for years. One of the few schools still doing music in the schools out here. So
yeah, they're phenomenal. I did a show there, and the band was opening for us actually. And 60 kids, playing music with the full marching band regalia. They came marching down the auditorium hallways and down into the aisleways. They were something to see for sure.
And was that recently?
That was like 2 years ago. Yeah.
So that means that there's still somebody still teaching music in schools, huh?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah, remember
also
Ryan, Nicole, remember we did that MLK show.
Right.
When was it MLK? No, it's Black History Month show.
That's
for
right.
the mayor's office, when they had the marching band and Beyonce was coming down the stairs at the beginning. They were playing. They're great. They're fantastic. Excellent. Shout out to the Pittsburgh High School marching band.
I just know a little something about Pittsburgh.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much. You're always welcome. Always welcome.
Speaking of marching bands, and I'm speaking to you, Chocolate, wasn't there a tour that you guys did where you guys would come out of the audience playing and chanting GCS, the baddest band from East to West?
What?
We used to do that all the time. Even when we played at the orphanage, we would go outside the back, walk around to the front door, and come in and go through the crowd with whistles, drums, melodicas, marching down to the stage. Even in big coliseums and stuff, we did that. So yeah, we were doing that a long time ago.
Wow.
And people loved that. They would be waiting just for that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have friends that have seen the Graham Central Station show live, and that's what they talk about, just the intro, the way you guys came in.
Exactly.
And just tore the stage up from there. But a good friend of mine, David Crenshaw, remembers seeing you guys, might have been at the Coliseum. And that's all he talks about. GCS, the baddest band from East to West. GCS, the baddest band from East to
While
West.
the drums are playing.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
So
hard.
go D
That's
minor. I see you.
And you're watching IRTS Live. We do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. We got a great guest tonight. We got CHOC'LET from Graham Central Station. We're talking about the very first album they ever did and all the songs. We're going through each and every one of them. We're down to now to song number 8. There's 2 songs left. This one is called Why. CJ Flash, why don't you play it?
Why?
Why not?
Because.
Don't leave me. Baby, don't you go. No, no, no. We have been together so doggone long. Now you say you wanna leave me, boy. Destroy our happy home. Why you want to leave me? Something I don't understand. Why you want to leave me for that other woman? Don't leave me.
There's a little bit of chocolate in there. There you go.
That was
You got
another-
one?
2. I got 2.
That's 2.
How
when I
old
first
were
heard
you when you were singing this? How were you?
how old was I?
Yeah. When
Is
that
that
one
what you
came out?
said?
Yeah.
I don't think I heard you correctly.
No, we don't do ages. We don't- I can speak
So,
for you.
let
We
me
don't do
rephrase that. So you were a young woman when this album came out, right?
chocolate is smooth. I love it.
She was popped out that punch without even getting hit. I just
Right.
You'll feel that after. Huh?
We
Yes.
don't talk numbers.
Yes, but the thing about this, I was going to say about this song is when I first heard it, Lenny Williams had done the demo. So he sang the song first. So I was trying to sing it like he sang it. Also, Lenny sang on, I failed to mention, he sang on Tell Me What It Is. It was me, Larry, and Lenny.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he spent a little time with Graham Central Station.
Yeah, when I first started out, my voice was much higher. I was like a soprano for real.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Nice. Now listen, I got one more thing I want to play before we get to wrapping this up. But CJ Flash, I also need to know, because it's in the chat and people have been hitting me up, and I'm gonna tell you the song in the chat that you got to find before we finish. You know, all this stuff should be talking about offside, but I'm gonna hit you up. You got to play this other song after we play the last song from this album. But in a second, watch this right now and find out a little bit more about IRTS Live. Again, we do this every Tuesday night. Here's some of the guests that we've had on. I always like to tell CJ, every now and then I listen to that theme song that we've been listening to for 4 or 5 years. You have some funky stuff there, CJ. I like that. I still like that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And that list was highly impressed. So what are you gonna do? You've had everybody on your show, so you're gonna start at the top of the list and go back down again?
No,
My goodness.
No, not at all. First of all, we're gonna have to add you to the list.
Thanks.
And
I'm
second of
on
all,
the list.
you were on. Did I have you on the list?
I am on the list, my brother.
Well, then
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
saw
be on there twice. Okay, you'll be on there twice. But the second thing we're going to need to do is have you recommend somebody that you know very well that you could get on the show.
Okay, I can do
That's
that.
what we do. All right, and then
But
we're gonna
like I said, you've had just about you
No,
had a lot of people on here.
We've had a lot
That's
of people.
great. That's
we've
great.
been
That's
very blessed, very fortunate.
keeping
Yes.
that funk alive. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
But we haven't had Tony Braxton on.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
Do you
He
know
is-
Tony Braxton?
No, no, Tony.
Okay.
I don't know Tony.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if I ever run across her,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
Yeah.
that word in.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell Sherry. I'm telling. Is Sherry there?
Huh?
I'm
I'm be like chocolate now. What? Huh? I
Huh?
can't hear you. What?
Throw some hot fish grease. I'm
I
gonna
can't
text her.
hear you.
I'm gonna text her right now.
I can't hear you. What? Huh?
I'm texting Sherry. It's okay.
Okay. All right. We got
And
one
did you see
more.
what he did? He did like this. He did.
Right.
Yeah.
Puppy dog.
Bless his heart.
Or I'm working on a lot of other people, but we'll talk about that off air and see who you know and who you can help us out with. But yeah, we got
Of course,
a lot
absolutely.
more. We enjoy doing this, and we love talking to the folks that have history and a legacy like you.
Yes.
Not
It's
these
so
not these
important. It's so
newcomers that are
important.
trying to think they all that after they had like one album out or something like that. So
It's so
you got a
important.
legacy.
It's so important. It really is. The work you're doing is awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
All right.
And Sheila Diva, you're one of your cousins. Yes, we had Lenny on. It's been a while, so it might be time to bring him back.
Lenny had one of the funniest shows. You gotta check out. Seriously, go to YouTube and pull up the Lenny Williams show and just sit back and let your.
He was
Listen
talking
to
about that song of his.
Lenny thinks he's funny. That's why.
Oh,
But he is funny.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
What was
saying.
that song he was talking about?
Sorry, I didn't know it was your mama.
I didn't know
Yeah.
it was your mama.
And then he had
Sorry.
another one where I left my jaw. or
Yeah,
something.
I left my drawers somewhere. I said,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
He has plenty of stories, and Lenny's a preacher at heart, so he
Mhm.
can talk forever
That
and
that
keep
he
you
did.
cracking up. Yep, I'm gonna have
Okay.
to pull that one up.
Yeah,
Okay,
watch
so
it.
might be time to get Laney back in here now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, Lenny.
Big shout out to Sherry Lynn Chadwick. I love Sherry.
Yeah,
Sherry,
yeah.
thank you, Sherry.
That's
We
one of
wouldn't
my
be here
favorite
if it wasn't
cousins
for you.
right there.
Well,
Yeah.
she loves you
Sherry
too.
said
Hi,
you
Nick,
was beautiful. Beautiful, CJ.
and then she also sings in OD minor as well.
Yes,
Oh,
Oh, look,
Sherry,
you
Sherry
did the
loves everybody.
you
Sherry
did the
loves-
hearts. Ryan did the hearts. Do it again.
I'm gonna do it again. Y'all just
You're out of heart juice. There you go.
that was for beautiful CJ.
All right. Well, Sherry Lynn, I look forward to meeting you and being on your love list as well at some point.
She loves
Yes,
everybody.
Don't
She's
tell
one.
Sherry, other Sherry, Ryan and Cole.
I'll be.
Look, we got one more song on this album,
One
and
more.
then we
Okay.
got one song after that that we've just got to play. But let's play the last song on this first album of yours from 1974. Go ahead, Flash. This one's kind of important, so listen to it a little bit.
Cheryl had to raise my kids in the ghetto. 'Cause that old no place else to go. Listening to the devil's lies. Everywhere you go, you realize. And I said, Lord, can't stand it no more. Somebody said, won't you send them home? Send them home where they belong.
Like a church march or something like that.
Somebody said, won't you send them home?
Mm.
Send them home where they belong.
Mm.
But I'm still trying to find out how we got here, because I know it wasn't on our own.
Come on.
Come on now.
Well,
Well, mighty, mighty.
mhm. Yeah, we wanted that to sound just like it sounded, like a slave ship type sound.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what we were going after.
Yeah.
Straight to the heart.
And
Yeah.
that song is called Ghetto.
That song's called Ghetto. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's the whole album.
9 songs.
I have
See,
really enjoyed this.
you know,
It's taking
you
me
guys
back.
did it. You guys did it right. And to this day, I still like it when artists give me like 8, 9 songs Don't give me 16 with interludes and, phone calls, skits. Just give me your best 8 or 9 songs. I'm going to remember 6 or 7 of them. And then we go from there. But that was a great first album.
It really
Master.
is.
Great first album.
It's masterful, and it does everything. You talk about love, you talk about the Lord, you talk about arguments, you talk about everything, and the sounds go in those directions as well. So it's beautiful, and you are able to do that while maintaining the brand. Like there's a signature, obviously, this Graham Central Station that is there, but it's beautiful.
Well, thank you so much.
All right. Well, we want to thank you, and what we're going to do, and I'm just talking to my man Michael Boudreaux. Hang on, because this is your song coming up. But what we like to do is kind of go around the horn a little bit and say our goodbyes to you. And so I'm going to start with Ryan Nicole. Go ahead and say what you think you need to say to.
I'm gonna be quick. I'm gonna be quick. Miss Chocolate, thank you so much again for coming and visiting us once again on this, like you said, auspicious day. Man, I always love being on this show because I get to revisit projects and albums that I've heard in my growing up. And they get to become a part of my collection, and my children get to listen to them. And this is one of those albums, and you're one of those voices that I'm just so proud to share with my young ones, as they begin to define what their musical kind of library will be. So just thank you for being dope, and keep going.
Wow. Thank you so much.
D minor.
Chocolate. Again, vocally, I just think about what you brought, and I think about a lot of your contemporaries at the time, whether it be the Tina Turners, the Aretha Franklins, and the Mary Claytons. I just say that when I heard you musically, vocally, you were amazing, and your music, your vocally, you were always able to give a lot funk wise and even ballad wise, and it's just I just loved what you were able to bring to that whole synergy of Grand Central Station. So thank you for just all that you've done, and thank you for just continuing to do what you do. And obviously you're an amazing storyteller as well, and it shows in your book.
Well, thank you. And you're a musicologist, so I don't take lightly what you're saying, okay? Because
the Encyclopedia Brown-Tanica. Encyclopedia Brown-Tanica.
That's right.
Thank you.
Flash.
Wow. Sometimes I reflect on how we met and think about how our friendship has grown a lot, but I've always held you in a different light because growing up, I was a part of that music. My mother's favorite song on the Ain't No Doubt About It album was Your Love, and she would always play it over and over and sing your part at the top of her lungs. So that was like a thing for me to watch her enjoy herself to music. She was a musicologist, and that's really what drew me in. Between her and my father, they both dug music a great deal, but to know that was one of her favorite songs and you were one of her favorite people, it just blows my mind that we ended up coming together at some point. And I thoroughly enjoy listening to your stories. I thoroughly enjoy listening to your music. And I'm grateful and appreciate our friendship and your contributions to this thing that we call funk, FONK. So thank you so very much. Appreciate
you. CJ, you know how I feel about you. We are truly friends, and I know that I can call on you at any time, and you will be there. And I so appreciate that. And thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, and that leaves me. So look, again, this has been a fantastic night for me. I love the stories. I love the music. I remember putting the needle on these records when they first came out. And so I'll echo what CJ and everybody said. To be able to talk to you now, after listening to you then, it's kind of surreal. It's kind of surreal. So I want to again tell people to get this book.
Yes.
Get this book, and we got it right here where you can get it. Thank you to Stephanie Jackson. At onestoppunkshop.com right here. It's going to be a good read for you. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. We thank you so much, Chocolate. So everybody listen, this is going to be one more song for this night, but we're going to do it as we fade out. We thank you again for joining us here on IRTS Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be back next week with another show. CJ,
Yes.
Take us home.
All my people.
And on the phone box here, my name is CHOCLET.
I'm playing.
IRTS Live is brought to you by CDove HR Consulting Group, the human resources specialist, providing personalized service to building a better tomorrow. Enjoy the difference. Lifelong Medical Care, offering free vaccines for everyone 12 and over. Call Lifelong at 510-549-5454 or visit lifelongmedical.org. Check out gdovedesigns.com to get t-shirts and hoodies that make a statement. Join DJs Big Russ and CJ Flash for the world-famous show live Fridays, noon to 4 Pacific. Catch them on the following social media platforms. And if you'd like to join us as a sponsor, please email us at info@irtsshow.com.